Hey, is Tammy your favorite life coach and manifesting mentor back with today's podcast episode? Hope everybody's having a great week so far. It is hump day, so we're getting over the hump. I'm going to help you through that. So today's topic that I want to talk to you about is this idea of manifesting and the law of attraction. The law of attraction, its basic premise is that thoughts create things. And when I first heard that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. What I think about the most is what's going to create my reality. But then I was like, wait a minute. I got a lot of freaking thoughts going on in my head. And obviously, they're not all optimistic or positive. A lot of them are negative because of social conditioning, how we've been brought up, from childhood, things that we've experienced, things that we've modeled, the behaviors of other people. And so, yeah, there's a lot of negative thoughts that are floating around. And I'm thinking, man, if my thoughts are creating things, then I am screwed because I'm not the most positive person in the world, like most of you, right? So I started digging deeper into that. And the process of manifesting is that you ask for what you want, you believe it's already done, and then you just are open to receiving it however it wants to come to you. That's the basic premise of manifesting. But in the middle there, if we start talking about the belief, so we all ask all the time. We're constantly asking for stuff, whether you know it or not. Witnessing the contrast of things that we don't like, as Abraham says, shoots off rockets of desires of things that we do want. And so that's an automatic process. We're always asking, always. But it's the belief about what is going to happen in the future is what literally creates your reality. It creates people, places, events, circumstances in your life that match what you believe, both positive and negative. So, what is belief? What is belief? Belief is I know, like I know, like I know that this is going to happen on the negative and the positive side. I know, like I know, like I know that this is about to hit the fan. I know, like I know, like I know that I'm going to be late to work. I know, like I know, like I know that there's going to be traffic. I know, like I know, like I know. You guys get the point. And we are so consumed with fear and lack and doubt because we're trying to prepare ourselves for the worst and we hope for the best. You've heard that saying often, I'm sure. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And so we spend most of our lives preparing for the worst, expecting it to show up, planning ahead of time. Because the last thing we want is to be taken off guard. The last thing that we want is to be sabotaged or bombarded with things that we're not expecting. That nobody likes that. So it's human nature to prepare for the worst, because at least if I can feel the feelings of it happening now, that when it actually does happen, at least my nervous system will be ready for it. I'll be ready for it and prepared for it mentally. Like I can prepare, so it won't hurt so bad. But when we can focus our attention on our emotions of how we feel about certain things, that's when we hold the true power of deciding how our life is going to go. Instead of thinking, what if it all goes wrong? What if we thought, what if it all goes right? That emotion in the middle of what if it all goes right? And then the human brain kicks in and says, but what if it doesn't? You better be prepared if it doesn't work out. You better be prepared for the worst case scenario. And then you attract those things into your life. And then you wonder why. So the key is to, how do you shut up the brain and its purpose for protecting you? How do you shut that up? How do you calm it down and say, you know what? For once in our lives, we're going to say, what if it works? We're going to feel the emotions of it already happening, and you don't have to protect me. How do we talk the brain into that? For me, I have this ritual, so to speak, of any time I'm manifesting something with intention and my brain kicks in to protect me from rejection or disappointment. And I can feel that negative emotion in me. I can feel like, oh, I want this thing and I'm excited about this thing. And then all of a sudden the brain says, yeah, but what if? And then I feel that negative emotion. I'm so hypersensitive aware of how I'm feeling that in that moment that I know I'm not feeling good or excited or hyped up or lit up by the thing that I want to experience, in that moment, I literally imagine myself plucking my brain out of my head and setting it on my desk and having a heart-to-heart conversation with it. And that conversation goes something like this. Brain, I understand that you're trying to protect me. And you are so smart and you are so resourceful and you can figure out a solution to any problem. So how about telling me all the reasons why we can't or we shouldn't or why it's not going to happen? Instead of telling me all of those reasons, how about you tell me all the reasons why we can and why we should and how it's possible? And when you can play into your brain's ego, to your mind's ego, and you can give it specific instructions on how you want it to contribute to your manifestation, it will give you the answers. It will give you the answers. Now, the whole point of all of this isn't about the thoughts, and it isn't about believing that anything is possible. It's about the attraction point are your emotions. How you feel about everything that you're thinking about, how you feel about it. Because if it was just thoughts that created things, you would be creating all kinds of things. And the majority of it is stuff that you don't want. Because we are wired, our brains, our human brains are wired for protection. It is wired to save you from being disappointed, to save you from being let down. You can't just rely and think that your thoughts are what create your reality, because it's not. Your thoughts are the creative part of it, but your emotions is the actual manifestation. Your emotions is the manifester. Your thoughts is the creator. So I create from a thought, I feel the emotion of it, and then that emotion is the attractor point, and that's the manifestation. You can't experience anything in your reality that you are not consciously aware of. So, I'll give you an example. If I'm not aware that some piece of technology exists that can save mankind, then I would never experience mankind being saved. If I'm not aware, consciously aware, that my dream car exists, then I will never experience the dream car. Everything is about feeling, awareness, assumption, focus, attention. So when we start talking about the brain and its function and the emotions and its function, then we have to look at the process like this. Number one, be aware of what's possible. Because you can't experience anything in your reality that you're not consciously aware of. So be aware of what's possible. Everything that you desire is already available. It already exists. Number two, use your imagination to create it from the inside first. And what do I mean by that? That means think thoughts that trigger an emotion that would be positive, that is in alignment with what you want. I'm going to think thoughts that create an emotion that serves me, that is in alignment with what I want. I need to be able to create an identity of someone that is a match to my desires. I can't go around looking at everything thinking everything is bad and then experience something good. I have to find the beauty in everything. I have to use the contrast as a guidance system. I have to look at the negative, make a choice and try to pull something positive out of it, and try to find the beauty in it, try to find the thing that serves me in it. Understand that it's this just there to show me things that I don't like so I can make better decisions. The contrast serves the purpose. And I need to create the identity of someone who looks at negative situations in a way that serves me, and then make choices in a positive way in alignment with what I want, on the same page as what I want. Not getting too caught up in the future. It's okay to paint the picture of what you want your life to look like, which is future viewing, so to speak. But the important part is to focus on the now, because the now is what's creating the future. Give the now all of your attention. How am I feeling right now? I feel bad. That must mean I'm thinking bad thoughts. And I know that if I think bad thoughts and those thoughts make me feel bad because I'm defining them, I'm putting a meaning on the thoughts as bad because of the emotions that I feel, then I know that that is my attraction point. And the more I feel bad, the more I will receive bad, whatever the definition of that is for you. Because nothing is neither good nor bad until you define what is good or bad. I can give you many examples of that. I can say that as one example, I've got an iPhone, and I can say, this iPhone is the best thing ever. I'm defining this as amazing. I'm defining this as great. And then you'll get an Android user that says, those iPhones are pieces of shit. You need to go get an Android. Androids are the best. And the Apple users are like, no, Androids are shit. Apple's the best. And they go back and forth, right? Nothing is neither good nor bad until you define it as such for you and what it means for you. So everything that you experience in life, you are putting a definition on it. You are a meaning-making machine. You put meaning on everything. We all do. We're all humans. We put meaning on everything. Chinese food is great. Mexican food is bad. Like, we define everything. We define this podcast is amazing. That podcast sucks. Like, everybody has their own opinion and their own meanings that they're putting on things based on how it serves them or doesn't serve them. And those are all emotions. Those are all emotions. You get somebody in a room with you that is passionate about a particular subject, and you can feel the emotion pouring out of them, and you define that as passion. Man, they're really passionate about that. Man, they're really feeling that. That's emotion. And if you look at their reality is an exact match to their passion. So the most important lesson you can learn about the law of attraction and manifesting is this. Your thoughts do matter, because your thoughts are the creator of your emotions. But you can't possibly keep track of 80,000 thoughts a day. And those 80,000 thoughts a day that you're having don't all have a meaning on them. Some are just flyby thoughts without attaching any type of emotion to them. But there are some thoughts that you have that you apply a meaning to, that create a huge level of emotion inside of you. And that is belief. That is the definition of belief. The stronger the emotion of it, the more you believe that it would be true or false. And that is the attractor factor. That is what you are manifesting. That is what you're experiencing in your life. So if you want to know what you're thinking, ask yourself how you're feeling. This is why it's so important to follow your bliss. This is why it's so important to follow the bliss. Do the things that make you happy. Go get out in nature if that's what makes you happy. Go for a walk, call a friend, listen to music, meditate, take a nap, take a bath, go have a spa treatment, go for a drive, whatever it is that makes you have a feeling and an emotion of bliss and happiness. Do those things. As you do those things, the universe will support you, and it will bring people, places, events, and circumstances into your life that match your bliss, that match your happiness. It is law. It's how the law of attraction works. But you get to decide. There's nobody else making the decision for you. You get to decide how you're going to feel. Nobody else. People can influence how you feel, but at the end of the day, you get to decide. If I have somebody influencing my decision on how I'm going to feel, and they're throwing down some negative stuff, and that's making me feel negative, instead of feeling like I have no control over the situation, I actually can take a moment and say, listen, I don't like feeling like this. And right now, I'm going to step away and go do something that makes me feel better. That's a choice. It's also a choice to stay in it and to go down that rabbit hole of the negative and feel the fear and feel the doubt and feel the lack and feel the misery and feel the suffering and feel all the things. Nothing changes until you change. You don't get what you want. You don't attract what you want just because you want it. You attract a vibrational match to how you're feeling. In other words, you get who you are, not what you want. You go first and the universe responds to you. You go first and the universe responds with an exact match. Chasing. Stop looking for external things in your life to make you happy. Stop saying, I will only be happy when, or I sure will be happy when this happens, or I'll sure be happy when I get that raise, or I'll sure be happy when I get the house or the car. I'll sure be happy when I find my soulmate. You're just pushing it off, putting it on the shoulders of something outside of you, hoping that it will come. It will never come. You know, it will come the exact opposite. You'll never get what you want until you become who you want to be. Then everything falls into place. The universe fully supports you. It will bring you an exact match. I don't have to wait for things to show up in my life before I'm happy. My focus 100% is on my emotion of happiness. That's what I focus on every day. What makes me happy? What can I do to feel happy now? What things can I do for myself that will make me happy? I could play with the dogs. I could go outside for a walk. I could look at social media and find some things that make me laugh. Anything I can think of to make me feel good. Is that a form of self-love? To look for things deliberately that make you feel good? Is that a form of self-love? Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it's putting me first and my feelings first. And that means that I'm important to me. So I guess that is a form of self-love, is that I actually care about how my human feels. I actually care about how my human feels, me. I want my human to feel good. I want my human to be happy. I want my human to be abundant. I want my human to have, do, and be anything it wants to be. And so I'm going to help guide my human to happiness every day in every way. What would happen if you did that? What would happen if you, just for the day, said, I'm going to do everything I can to make my human happy? I'm going to stop and smell the roses, cliche. I'm going to go for a drive. I'm going to take a 30-minute bath with candles lit and a glass of wine or a glass of champagne, and I'm going to allow my human to relax. I'm going to make sure that my human gets enough rest and drinks enough water. I'm going to make sure that my human gets out and moves its body a little bit. You have an internal guidance system and also an external one. You have a higher self that is always trying to help you feel better. It's always trying to help you feel better. But man, that human brain inside of that human body, all it wants to do is protect you from the negative. And that's its only focus. So you've got to tap into something higher. You got to tap into something higher. You have to understand that you get to decide. You get to control how things go for you. So just for the day, I want your higher self to think of ways to make your human happy. Focus on that today. And leave me a comment and let me know how the universe has supported you like a mirror image. Let me know in the comments what you've received that has been a match to how you've been feeling. Okay? So I love you guys. Make sure that you're creating the life that you want and do it with intention instead of living your life by default. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next week.